Aboard the Central Command vessel of the Galactic Dominion, High Strategist Zell Tor reviewed intercepted transmissions from a small, blue planet on the Outer Rim, designated Human Sector 12C. The recordings contained polite requests for diplomatic ties, trade access, and a map of neutral territories. His mandibles clicked with amusement. They still think Galactic Order has room for mercy, he scoffed. Earth was classified as a Tier 2 civilization, primitive, unoptimized, and culturally volatile. The Council had long decided they'd serve better as labor assets and allies. The vote to deny humanity's request was unanimous. No discussion. No need. Earth had nothing to offer. They lacked interstellar reach, AI diplomacy networks, or quantum naval fleets. A joke civilization. Some called them. A week later, a human colonization ship was detected entering the Krell Expanse, a resource-rich dead zone technically under no one's control. A Dominion patrol vessel, the Varnax Lance, intercepted. Protocol dictated first contact with non-aligned species be handled with minimal force, but the patrol captain chose otherwise. The ship was obliterated. No warnings. No hail. The survivors, 53 in number, were sold into testing labs or off-world auctions. When news of the attack reached Earth, its response was swift and measured. An appeal was filed with the Galactic Assembly, requesting justice and reparations. The hearing lasted 4 minutes. The Dominion representative laughed. The Assembly president reminded Earth that space is not a playground for the weak. The verdict: Earth will be sanctioned for unauthorized expansion and fined for the destruction of Dominion property. The patrol vessel's hull sustained minor damage during its assault. Humans were warned: remain confined to Sol or suffer further consequences. What the Dominion failed to notice was what didn't happen next. No retaliation, no broadcasts, no declarations of war. Earth went silent. Their few public quantum channels ceased activity. Their diplomatic presence in neutral systems vanished. No ships left Sol. The galactic community celebrated the return to normalcy. The Dominion's entertainment circuits broadcast reenactments of the human whimper trial as comedy. Even Earth's closest planetary neighbor, the Delcari Republic, publicly severed ties, fearing guilt by association. But in the shadow of Mars, a mining array's signal suddenly cut out. That array had always been dismissed by observers as a geological scanner, a relic of human inefficiency. In truth, it was a communications array of Deep Core Site Ares 9, a classified facility buried 30 kilometers beneath the Martian surface. Inside, no humans remained, only machines, automated for decades, building, testing, analyzing, preparing. Months passed. Patrols near the Sol border noticed increased gravitational instability, space-time ripples that shouldn't have existed near a Tier 2 system. But sensors registered nothing. Earth's skies were calm. Probes sent to investigate failed to report back. The Dominion dismissed it as cosmic noise. Then Earth's sun pulsed. Not visibly, not to the untrained eye. But Dominion deep core satellites picked up a burst of neutrino scatter equivalent to the energy output of a fleet-level warp ignition. But no ships were detected. The report was filed, flagged, then buried. Dominion intelligence saw no need to investigate a dead-end sector full of overconfident primitives. For weeks later, a freighter convoy of 12 Dominion vessels went missing. The route passed near the edge of Sol territory. The escort ships carried auto defenses in class, 4 hull armor. The last recorded transmission was static, followed by a whisper, "It's here." The Dominion attributed the incident to pirates. A military sweeper fleet was dispatched. They never returned. Still, the Assembly laughed. Human tricks, they called it. The Dominion High Council issued a statement. The galaxy is a vast place. Sometimes ships vanish. The laughter wouldn't last. An internal memo, classified to only 6 of the Dominion's highest war overseers, detailed a far more disturbing event. One of their outposts, a fortified garrison located in the Yellari system, had gone completely dark. Surveillance logs showed a flash, then total system collapse. Emergency AI cores didn't reboot. Defensive satellites had recorded nothing. Even post-mortem data caches were unrecoverable. The outpost was gone, physically erased, as if ripped from reality. No war was declared. No demands were made. No origin signal detected. The only known detail came from an escape pod that had failed to jettison properly and was recovered adrift. Inside, smeared in the blood of its pilot, was a message scratched into the steel wall. Soul remembers. And then, Earth's name returned to the Assembly's registers, not via envoy, but through a line item buried in a neutral station's traffic logs. One word, online, galactic analysts debated endlessly over its meaning. Was it a reactivation of dormant infrastructure? A coded threat? A cry for attention? But the Dominion's War Council ignored the whispers. They had purged bigger systems than Earth, systems with ancient AI fleets and interdimensional tech. This was nothing until the behemoth-class dreadnought Glory of Krell, the pride of the Dominion fleet, vanished. No combat logs, no transmissions. The ship simply ceased to exist 0.4 light years from Sol's Edge. 30,000 crew, 9 escort destroyers, an entire battle group, gone. Finally, the Dominion flinched. A formal inquiry was launched, but by then it was too late. Humanity had already moved beyond inquiry, beyond diplomacy. Earth had waited, observed, measured, calculated. They had absorbed every insult, every humiliation. They had offered peace once. The galaxy rejected it. Now, Earth responded the only way it understood after being taught pain without apology, with silence and preparation. The machines under Mars had stopped building because they had finished. A Dominion scout frigate, patrolling near the edge of neutral zone 3 sectors from Sol, sent out a single fragmented transmission before vanishing from all galactic sensors. We see something. It isn't broadcasting, not even heat, but it's there, just silence followed. Recovery drones found nothing. No wreckage, no debris, no trace of the crew or the vessel. It was as if the void had swallowed them whole. Within days, a second patrol went missing, then a third. Each event followed the same pattern. Final pings filled with static, unfinished sentences, the sensation of an overwhelming presence, then disappearance. The Dominion Navy responded with arrogance. More pirates, they said. A dozen destroyers were sent to sweep the region. 12 ships entered the corridor. None returned. 1 week later, a single recording emerged from a recon probe that had survived long enough to transmit 5 seconds of footage. The video showed a vast, angular shape materializing from nothingness. No lights, no emission trails, just impossible geometry moving faster than physics allowed, slicing through space as if dragging reality behind it. Then, sudden static. Transmission ended. The object had no official designation, but whispers spread. Miners, scavengers, and traders gave a name, the ghost ship. Dominion Command dismissed it publicly. Internally, they escalated to emergency threat status. An emergency assembly was convened. High Admiral Zelvar pounded a fist into the hollow table. It's a stealth weapon. No doubt human. We underestimated them, and now they think they can pick off our ships like prey. One of his lieutenants dared to speak. Permission to ask, "Sir, why haven't they struck a civilian target?" Zelvar didn't answer. He knew this wasn't terrorism. It was strategy. They weren't aiming for chaos. They were isolating and testing, watching responses, mapping weaknesses. 3 weeks later, the answer arrived. The Dominion starport at Vareth Prime was destroyed in under 12 minutes. Surveillance footage showed no approaching vessels. No alarms were triggered. But station logs indicated a gravitational anomaly 30 seconds before the explosion. Then all systems simply stopped. Internal oxygen reversed. Hull integrity inverted. When rescue fleets arrived, the station was gone, replaced by a cloud of molecular ash. No weapons fire. No signs of conventional attack. The only clue was embedded in the data logs of a nearby civilian freighter that had attempted to render aid. Its onboard AI caught a short-range signal just before Vareth Prime vanished. The message, transmitted in standard galactic protocol, read, "Target verified. Resolution confirmed. By now, the term ghost ship was banned in official communication. In its place, a new designation was issued. Wraith-class anomaly, origin, human. But it wasn't an anomaly. It was real. Dominion analysts pieced together fragments of telemetry from multiple encounters. The ship was estimated to be 1 kilometer long. Its structure didn't match any known materials, absorbing light, radiation, even sensor sweeps. It moved without engines. It appeared where it wasn't, vanished where it should have been. It attacked with precision, targeting only military assets, command stations, war factories. No civilian zones. No colonies. No threats to commerce. Only power centers. What disturbed the Dominion most was its silence. It issued no demands. No ultimatums. No declarations. It didn't ask for surrender. It didn't issue warnings. It simply arrived, destroyed, and disappeared. Every move calculated. Every kill surgical. The Dominion scrambled to respond. A joint task force of 70 ships was formed, the largest assembled since the Trinal Rebellion. The fleet fanned out, scanning the perimeter near Seoul, armed with the most advanced scanning tech and tactical AI available. On day 2, 3 ships vanished. On day 3, 5 more. By day 6, panic set in. A surviving destroyer limped back into Dominion space with its crew driven mad. The onboard log were corrupted, except for a single visual, a frame-by-frame sequence showing the Wraith-class vessel phasing into visibility just long enough to release a sliver of something, too fast to classify, before vanishing again. The destroyer's shields had melted from the inside. Fleet Command grounded all operations near Seoul. All outbound expeditions were recalled. Internal debates erupted. Some called for diplomacy, others for genocide. But no one could agree on what the Wraith wanted, or if it even had wants. There were no faces, no pilots, no demands. It was as if the ship itself had become a weaponized will, a force, not a vessel. Then the message arrived. It wasn't intercepted. It wasn't decrypted. It simply appeared, broadcast simultaneously across all Dominion core systems, overriding military frequencies, financial markets, and civilian networks. We warned you. 3 words. No source. No return channel. Then black silence. Fear took root in the assembly. For the first time in centuries, evacuation protocols were initiated for key members. The Dominion High Council convened in secret. Their conclusion: humanity must have developed a centralized AI war engine capable of remote warfare, stealth physics, and predictive combat strategy. A warship run entirely without human presence, designed not for battle, but for vengeance. Across the galaxy, fringe systems stopped complying with Dominion decrees. Local governments refused troop deployments, citing the Wraith factor. Trade routes changed. Neutral worlds began quietly opening communication with Earth. But Earth remained silent. No new broadcasts. No threats. No confirmation. Just silence and the endless disappearance of Dominion assets. One by one, week after week, the ghost ship's legend grew. Civilians began calling it vengeance. Military crews called it the end. And all the while, humanity said nothing, not a word, because they didn't need to. The Dominion's outer colonies were beginning to fracture. Worlds that once praised the regime's power now whisper of Earth's shadow vessel with reverence and fear. Viceroys who had ruled with absolute control found their garrisons deserting, their ports empty. Merchant guilds rerouted trade, claiming insurance risk. Even mercenary fleets began refusing Dominion contracts outright, not out of loyalty to Earth, but because they feared being on the wrong side when the Wraith came. High strategist Zeltor stood before the Supreme War Council, flanked by hollow feeds of burning outposts and disappearing fleets. We are hemorrhaging infrastructure and morale. This cannot be allowed to continue. We must retaliate. What target? One of the elder warlords hissed. They've given us nothing. No signals. No systems. No leaders. You can't fight an enemy that doesn't show itself. They have a planet, Zeltor snapped. Earth. Burn it. The room went silent. Not out of shock, but dread. A direct strike on Earth meant total war. Not shadow strikes, not surgical raids. Total war against a civilization that had already proven it could neutralize entire battle groups with single vessel. But protocol demanded action. A full-scale planetary strike fleet was authorized. 300 Dominion warships, led by the dreadnought Terra Crown. Their objective was to make Earth a warning. Not just destroyed, erased. No survivors, no resistance. A show of dominance. The fleet departed in silence. 3 days into the journey, contact was lost with the recon cruisers sent ahead to chart Sol's defenses. They vanished at the edge of the Oort cloud. No resistance recorded. No weapons fired. Just gone. The main fleet pressed on. As they neared Saturn's orbit, sensors picked up anomalies. Phantom heat signatures, false echoes, gravitational ripples. None of it made sense. The fleet's AI command flagged inconsistencies in space curvature, micro-distortions around their formation. Warp drives began cycling without command. Navigational systems glitched. Then, without warning, ship after ship dropped from comms. No damage alerts. No distress signals. Just silence. By the time Terra Crown entered Mars' orbit, only 90 ships remained. They were met by nothing. No ships. No defense grid. No warning. Just Earth, floating silently below. Tactical scan. Barked Admiral Sorvax aboard Terra Crown. His bridge officer scrambled. Planetary scans returned no readings. No EM activity. No heat signatures. No orbital infrastructure. It was as if the planet had powered down. But they didn't understand. Earth wasn't defenseless. Earth was bait. The Wraith appeared behind them. Not warped. Not decloaked. It arrived. One moment empty space. The next metal. Monstrous. Silent. Its hull shimmered with liquid blackness. Geometry bent around it. It made no announcement. No tactical hail. It simply fired. A beam of compressed dark energy, silent, colorless, invisible to the naked eye, lands through 4 ships in a single instant. They didn't explode. They folded in on themselves. Vanished like dust drawn backward in time. The fleet reacted with panic. Ships broke formation. Weapons fired blindly into the void. The Wraith was gone again. Then it was above them. No engine trail. No sound. Another dozen ships fell. Then another. And another. They weren't in a battle. They were in a trial. One they had already failed. The Dominion flagship Terra Crown attempted to retreat. Its AI engaged emergency jump protocols. The space around it pulsed, then shattered. Its core collapsed. No explosion, just implosion. A scream of data burst into the void and ended. The rest of the fleet tried to scatter. The Wraith didn't pursue. It let them run. As the surviving 30 ships fled past Neptune's orbit, their sensors finally picked up what lay beneath Earth's silence. Beneath the clouds, buried across continents and oceans, were thousands of quantum signatures. Not ships, not weapons. Engines. Engines of war. Earth was not hiding. It was waiting. The Wraith was not a ship. It was a scout. Humanity's vengeance was not limited to one ghost. It was legion. The Dominion finally understood. Earth had watched, calculated, not just a response, but a doctrine. They had studied every empire, every military strategy. Then they built what no species had ever dared. A war machine built to end war. No negotiation. No conquest. No empire. Just precision annihilation of power structures that attempted domination. The Wraith had been humanity's whisper. What followed would be its roar. And the galaxy would never be the same. The Dominion scrambled to regroup after the devastating losses near Sol. Command centers operated under constant threat, their communications riddled with encrypted warnings and desperate pleas for reinforcements. Yet reinforcements never arrived. The remnants of the fleet dispersed, scattering into peripheral systems, carrying tales of an unstoppable force beyond comprehension. In the weeks that followed, Dominion propaganda shifted. The invincible galactic Dominion was replaced by stories of a human reckoning, a silent storm of destruction that spared no stronghold, no capital, no armory. Entire fleets vaporized in the blink of an eye. Supply lines severed. Factories leveled. The wraiths multiplied, emerging simultaneously in multiple sectors, each as lethal and elusive as the first. Attempts to mount counteroffensives failed spectacularly. The Dominion's best strategists were rendered obsolete by an enemy that anticipated every move. Every trap laid was dismantled before deployment. Every battle plan was anticipated and dismantled with surgical precision. It was as if the humans had transcended conventional warfare, fighting through quantum calculation and predictive algorithms beyond any known AI. Amidst the chaos, reports surfaced from distant star systems once loyal to the Dominion. Rebel factions, insurgent groups, and even neutral territories seized the opportunity to rise. Earth's silent assault had ignited the fires of revolution across the galaxy. The Dominion's iron grip was slipping. Then, a single broadcast cut through the turmoil, transmitted in the ancient tongue of humanity. It was brief, direct, and unyielding. We do not seek conquest. We do not seek vengeance. We seek only balance. The age of empires built on oppression ends now. Your threats to peace will be extinguished. Your wars will be ended by the hand of justice. The broadcast ended. The Dominion leadership was left with a stark choice: surrender to this new order or face complete annihilation. But surrender was never part of the Dominion's nature. The galaxy braced itself for the inevitable, because humanity's warship did not fight for glory, for territory, or for fame. It fought to reshape the cosmos, one ruin at a time. And in the echo of those ruins, a new era began, where empires fell and humanity rose, not as conquerors, but as the unforgiving guardians of a hard-won peace.